We are joined in the 11 Alive Plus streaming studio by Chase Howell. Chase, you were monitoring court proceedings earlier today. This is the latest development in a case that you have been following, our whole newsroom has been following closely. It is the case of the killing of young Zoey Price, who was killed about a month ago here in Atlanta. Bring us up to speed on this case and what happened earlier today in court.
So, bring it to speed, they had a preliminary hearing today, meaning they were just talking about all the evidence that they had, not all of it, but some of it, as to why they brought this probable cause out. And so basically today, Stephen Richardson and Preston Smith were in the courtroom today talking with the judge and just kind of laying out everything between the state and the defense. And basically, we kind of got some more insight into what happened that night she was killed, 7-year-old Zoey Price. And I think we have that story lined up, so we can take it if you want.
Happy birthday to you.
Zoey Price, a 7-year-old girl with so much life to live, was shot and killed not too long after her birthday. Police say she died after Preston Smith and Stephen Richardson drove past her house and shot it up last month. In court Tuesday, a detective who took the stand during their preliminary hearing says it all started from an argument between Zoey's brother and Smith over a group FaceTime call. He says the fight began either over $100 or Zoey's brother disrespecting Smith's mom based on witness statements and cell phone data. But that's not all he says ties both Smith and Richardson to the scene. He testified doorbell video from the Price's home and security video show the suspects pull up in Price's car and start shooting. And in an interview with the detective, he alleges Richardson admitted to shooting at the house. But his attorney argues there's no proof and that his client merely shot at the ground. Richardson's attorney also asked the judge not to find probable cause because he was interviewed without a parent or advocate. Richardson is 17 and considered a minor. But the judge ultimately sided with the state, finding probable cause to indict both him and Smith. In Atlanta, Chase Howell, 11 Alive News.
Yeah, so something else I found interesting today when the defense, Richardson's attorney, was talking with the judge was he was trying to say, look, all this evidence that you're bringing before the court right now, according to the state, is all statement-based. And as you know, Zach, you studied law for a little bit. I mean, you talk about hearsay. You often hear that, that's hearsay, get rid of it or whatever. What do they say, strike the record? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But it's basically they were talking about how hearsay is permissible in a preliminary hearing, but not in trial. And so I thought that was interesting. And even though he was like, hey, judge, I don't want you to find probable cause in this, he was like, well, you may be right, but guess what? Hearsay is allowed and we're going to allow it.
And so this case now, it goes before a grand jury. That's going to be the next step of this. There is typically in these preliminary hearings a question of bond. But today, do you know what the outcome of that was for these two suspects?
So Richardson did not have a bond hearing. As far as Smith, they did request it, but then withdrew it at that bond hearing. Why, I couldn't really hear because it's hard to hear in a courtroom, as some of us know, but that was interesting as well. I did talk to Zoey's mom, along with her aunts. I was with them last Friday as well and just did a walk with them for anti-violence that Crystal Drake threw, who owns Crescent City. So we got to take a walk and just kind of walk for all the kids that have been dying due to violence.
This is the beginning in the long march through the justice system in the case against these two suspects accused of being involved in the death of 7-year-old Zoey Price. That next step is going to be the grand jury.
It will be. So now they're facing, both of them combined, well, I should say this. Smith is facing 14 charges. Richardson is facing a 15th for being under the age of 18 and possessing a firearm. And I will say this, something I'm looking into right now is that there was a third person in the car that night that they allegedly drove up past that house, shot it up, and killed Zoey Price. So I don't want to say his name right now because I'm looking into that as to where is he in all this.
Do you know if police are investigating that?
The detective who was on scene, the lead detective who took the stand today, is the one who brought it up.
Like we said, this is the beginning of this march through the justice system. The grand jury process comes next, and that is when prosecutors will present their evidence before a panel of grand jurors, and they will choose to either indict or not. It is up to the grand jury to determine if there's probable cause to indict, and then it goes over to Superior Court, and that is when the process continues. This is the beginning. We know, Chase, you're going to be following it all the way through. Chase Howell, thank you as always.
Thanks.